Hey.
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 I'm a movement by myself, ow, but I'm a force when we're together. Baby, I'm good all by myself. Yes.
Girl, you make me better.
You make me better.
You make me better.
You make me
Hey,
better.
you make me better.
You make me better.
You make me better. Hey. All right. Hey.
Hey everybody, how is everyone doing? We are here for another episode of What
She said.
Yes, so we are
Excited.
excited and we got a lot of stuff going on and just a little bit of everything.
Y'all don't mind me. I'm sending out invites, but go ahead, baby. Keep talking.
We got a little bit of everything going on. First of all, let's start with a happy Cinco de Mayo.
Ain't that right?
No, it's not right. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all our Mexican people.
And your people, baby.
Them ain't my people.
Y'all speak Spanish.
We speak Spanish, but that don't make us.
Y'all related.
I'm not Mexican.
To her cousins. They cousins.
We not even distant cousins. Mexicans people are short and their face look like a plate.
Don't you do that because my niece is part of this. Don't you play her. You won't do that.
Oh, which one?
Don't worry about that.
Hey,
Thank you. I told you, my relatives. I keep telling you, you tripping.
Shout outs to the Hatton family who, dates the United Nations.
You know I'm gonna beat you down. I will tell. Ooh, I hope Stephanie show my mama this video. She gonna get it when she go over there.
It's okay though, because at least
you know my mama don't.
Listen, one thing that you know is that when you go into a family reunion, you know who the spouses are. Everybody is a other.
Y'all.
Everybody is a other. But it's okay though, because I'm a other too. We're going to talk about others later on.
Yes.
In this little thing.
And actually part of our our overall topic is going to be like interracialisms.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about
Hey, Jen.
race in this episode. So if you got a problem with race, this is not the episode for you. Skip back
Hit
and
that
go.
button right there that says exit.
Exit. Just hit the X. Just hit the X at the top and just go away. We are going to be dealing with a lot of topics of race, race identity, race cultures, and different things like that. We're not going to be disrespectful, of course.
No.
I am Hispanic. We gonna get into that,
Right? And I can't wait.
Cause me and the boo thing had a very heated. Wasn't heated. It's a lot of love.
It is.
Cause I love my boo thing. But we had a conversation about race and how people identify themselves within race. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when I say how I identify. Or you might get pissed off. Either way, however you feel, it is what it is. It's my identity. It's how I choose to identify. So tough titty. Moving right along very swiftly and professionally. Now, I know that if y'all watch me on my Majesty show, y'all know that I put Kanye West on the sick and shut in list.
Yes, our prayers go out to him.
I had to put her, and I say her, y'all know how I get petty. I had to put her on the sick and shut in list because she was doing too much.
Don't do her. Don't do him like that. See, you got me said. You got me said.
You know she was doing too much. Boo was on, okay. So for those of y'all who have been living under a rock, race, I do not like to run. Elizabeth, you funny.
Right, I don't like to run either, girl.
As some of y'all already know, Kanye West did an interview with Charlamagne the God. Shout out to Charlamagne. Charlamagne and him did this interview prior to him wearing the Make America Great Again hat. And all the little tweets that he had going on, but it was aired, I think it was on Monday. It was aired on Monday at 12 o'clock. I, like most of you, tuned in at work like I didn't have a job and my company wasn't paying me.
I did not tune in.
I did tune in to watch The Foolery with Mr. West and Charlamagne the God. And sis just was not together. there was no complete questions answered. Sis went around the world in a day to answer one question. I was a bit confused with Sis and her wording. And I just couldn't understand. Listen, I don't know. People want to blame the Kardashians for the reasons why Kanye has lost all of his mind. I do not blame them anymore. Not when his own wife is on Twitter talking about, Kanye, can you please clarify your statements? So clearly she over there at the house going,
oh, somebody take his phone.
Take his phone away. Like, boy, you have lost all of your mind. And that is very clear and apparent.
Now, yeah, the interview was quite interesting, Charlamagne and God, but I'm gonna let you finish with that one because the interview that I liked the most, well, not even interview, but I guess a surprise recording. I don't even know if you knew that, whatever it was, at TMZ that took place.
He took himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, Sis took herself to over there. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep calling her Sis.
No.
So
Ye took himself.
Ye took himself over there to the TMZ building to the studio.
Yeah.
Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Kanye West's office is in the same office that TMZ has their office.
Right.
So Sis knew what she was doing. Location is key
You
for
call me
Sis.
Sis one more time.
So Sis took herself. Okay, Kanye took himself over there to
Hey, Crystal.
TMZ, and of course now everyone in TMZ is talking about what? The interview that he had with Charlamagne the God.
All right.
In the interview that he had with Charlamagne the God, he was actually almost making it seem like race wasn't an issue, that he was very much infatuated with Donald Trump,
Right.
but it also came out to be very clear that Kanye West has no idea what's going on in the world. Kanye self-admitted that he does not read books, that he does not watch CNN, so he didn't know nothing that was going on. Sis lives in her own world.
Stop.
Okay. Kanye lives in his own world. Kanye is very much away from everything. Like, there's nothing else going on in Kanye's world but Kanye.
And he made a strong comment that slavery was a choice.
Okay, so
that was like the biggest thing that stood out.
So he went to TMZ trying to. I said he.
No, I know, but go ahead.
He went to TMZ. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But you want to read
No,
the
baby,
quote?
you go ahead. You got it.
Okay, so he went to TMZ, and of course now they were asking him about it. In the topic, they were discussing slavery, because of course he talked about slavery in the interview he had with Charlamagne the God. And his quote was, in the TMZ office, was that when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like you were there for 400 years, and it's all of y'all. It's like we're mentally in prison.
I definitely think that his initial statement, when I first heard it, I was like, I was like, oh no, I'm done with Ye, music gone, deleted, ain't fooling him. But then when I thought more about his comment, and I'm in this social work program right now, and a lot of the things that we're doing is reflection. We're asking why, the whys. It's not enough to just take a comment and run with it, but you have to pull the lyrics back and see, okay, what position was this person coming from? What place were they speaking from? Why did they say this? What context was it in? Is there any backdrop to this? And so when I thought more about it, I honestly thought about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I thought about that. And one of the things that Inshallah, his brother, when died, when he was giving him a choice, he was like, I'd rather die than to live in this world and be a slave.
Yes.
He was like equating that to how some slaves that were captured chose to jump off the ship and those type of things.
He said he would rather throw him off the ships with his ancestors because death is better than bondage.
Exactly. So I thought about that, and I said, you know what? In taking it into that context, historically thinking, and just taking just that level right there, then yeah, I could agree with that. It was a choice because you could have chosen death. Now the other side of that though is to look at this statement differently. That they did not choose death and they chose life and they persevered and were strong enough to live through this period of physical bondage, because the mental bondage, the repercussions of bondage are still here. There's still huge divides economically, educationally, etc. There's still reparations still needs to happen at some point in time. We're still behind the 8 ball. But having said that they did make a choice. They chose to stay alive. They chose to either run away when they could. They chose to persevere. It was a choice that they made, but that does not mean that they were weak
minded,
minded for making that choice. What it says is that they were strong in hope and faith that at some point, this part of slavery, this circumstance, this hardship, this obstacle, this barrier, this pain, this struggle will at some point end.
See,
so that's the part where I'm just like,
okay, you gave Kanye way too much. You gave Kanye way.
But why are you saying I'm giving him too much? Because my thing is, nowadays we always take a comment and we run with it. We don't take a chance to just pause and like, okay, hold on, let me see this from different perspectives. He could have meant it like this. He could have meant it like that. He didn't give any more context to that. So
and that was part of the problem.
How is that part of the problem? Your assumption is your problem, not mine.
Let me hurry up and get.
Hey, Crystal.
Okay, so he tried to clean it up later.
He did a good job. If you saw the whole thing from the TMZ thing, it explained a whole lot, and it gives you a different perspective of looking at what he's actually saying. I do agree that he's dealing with some mental illness, but that has nothing to do with his delivery at TMZ. I'm sorry, Jen, have you seen the delivery at TMZ?
He's been diagnosed. He takes medication. He did not say
had opioid substance abuse issues.
He has said that he is taking medication. He did not disclose which medication he was taking.
Yeah, you got to see the whole thing, because the back and forth and the banter and the conversation between that young man. Kudos to that young man.
His name is Van Lathan.
That stood up and voiced how he felt, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Night, because I know what you was doing. Night. Sorry, y'all. You know the dog.
We got the baby.
Right, because I heard the dish clink. I'm like, why are they clinking? Right. So the banter back and forth between them, I definitely see both perspectives, and hats off for him being bold enough to say how he felt, because oftentimes we'll have this, we'll whisper, we'll gossip behind
but we don't never say what we feel.
And he took that opportunity.
What happened with Van after he made the comment, Van Lathan is somebody who works for TMZ. He's a producer at TMZ.
He's been there for a little while.
And he's been there for a while. He also is a huge Kanye West fan. He has gone on and interviewed since his hot take that has been all over social media about his response to Kanye. And for those of you who didn't hear it, he said, I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel that is because Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. There's fact and real life consequences behind everything that you just said. While you are making music and being an artist and living a life that you've earned for being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Frankly, I am disappointed and I'm appalled. And brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something to me that is not real.
Pause. I want to read the comment because Jen hasn't. Hold your thought, baby. Don't forget it now.
Okay.
She said, Van was the man. I could see the hurt in his eyes from the clip that I saw. It was awful. But to your point, some people just take a clip and run with it without learning context. I have to just say, exactly. Just learn the context, because the rest of the conversation that they had was really good. And some points that Kanye made, I actually was like, I can rock with that. I see where you're going with that. Maybe your delivery wasn't as great. Maybe your delivery wasn't as polished. But I see where you're going with that. I see what you're trying to say. I see what you're trying to get at. I definitely think both points are equally the struggle in our community and great. So.
Kanye ended up, after leaving TMZ, he went to Twitter, his favorite place, and said, to make myself
clear. The love of Twitter is evil and sin.
He said, to make myself clear, of course, I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on both by free will. My point is for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means that we were mentally enslaved. I think what happened with Kanye is that his delivery sucks.
Yeah.
And then coupled with the fact that recently he's taken on a stance of this love that he has for Donald Trump.
I don't think it's a love.
He said he loved him.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Boy, bye. Now, see, I missed that point.
He said that he loves Donald Trump, but he does not know his policies. He does not know anything about him. I think Kanye is obsessed with white men. That's what I've drawn from this. Kanye is very obsessed with white men. He wants to be in these white spaces. And the problem with Kanye is that you are not a white man. And you are a threat to everything that a white man stands for. And I think that first of all, let's be clear. I just said Kanye wants to be a white man. Okay? He also married a what? White wife. So with that being said, we knew that there was something going on with Kanye long before then.
Whoa.
Let me give context to my opinion.
Okay, because I'm going to say, you can't say that because just because
let me give some context to my opinion.
Okay.
When Kanye started his fashion line, he was upset that Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all those designers and those people, those board of directors, would not allow him into those spaces. He was very upset with that. He was very upset with Tom Ford and everybody else. He was very upset that those white men, and he made it a point in duty to say white men, would not allow him into those spaces. And every time that Kanye references himself, he never references a black man. When he talks about himself, the first person he starts to talk about is Tom Ford. He talks about Polo. He talks about the designers of Gucci and Louis Vuitton. He talks about Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. He always refers to himself I see myself as Mark Zuckerberg. I see myself as the designers of Gucci. I just see myself as everyone. I see myself as Donald Trump.
Wait. But do you see any black designers at their level? Name me one. Okay, you don't. So if you're in the arena of fashion and that is your competition, they just so happen to be white. So if I see myself as them, it has nothing to do with their race. It has everything to do with the level that they arrive at.
I can agree to that. However, you constantly comparing yourself to a white man does not
Call me a black Mark Zuckerberg. Who else invented Facebook? And then the point is there one?
No, there isn't. But the point that I'm trying to make is this: create your own lane, Kanye. Stop chasing behind these white men.
He's created his own lane, but he also has used the backdrop of what others have done. He's trying to work smart. So if you have these designers, forget the fact of their race, that have been successful in the arena you are engaging in. Why not take everything that they know and they've learned and just turn around and do it better?
Okay, Raymond, why are we making excuses for Kanye?
Okay.
Yeah, and why are we making excuses for Kanye when we know that he is a thirstmonger for attention and publicity, the Grammys, the telethon after the hurricane? I don't think he really meant what he said. I think he said it for the attention.
That's a possibility.
I mean,
that's a possibility. But he didn't say anything that nobody wasn't believing. That thing he said at Hurricane Katrina wasn't anything that we as minorities
have
were not said and believed numerous times. He just happened to be in the
He just happened to be in the space to say it. I mean, I'm not okay. My whole thing with Kanye is this.
But I'm also like, how you say that about Bush, but you don't say that about Trump,
about Donald Trump, but
who
then
has had issues with have minorities in living, that had denied them the ability to live in this housing and unit that he's had.
But again, this goes back to the fact that
also called for the execution of those black young men in New York that were found innocent. He still wanted them to go to the death penalty. He's also disparaged Africa as a nation. You know, what did he say about them? I can't repeat that, but y'all know what he said about them.
He called them shithole countries. But it wasn't just African countries.
Right, but he's had issues. He's trying to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out. He's had issues with race and minorities. You can't see that from Trump, but you can see that from Bush.
I think what happened was that what happened with Kanye back then, we were dealing with a woke Kanye. We were dealing with college dropout and late registration Kanye.
That was my jam.
Those were
Jesus walk with. Oh yeah, that's my thing.
So we know that we were dealing with a different individual at that point.
Right.
And we were dealing with a woke Kanye. Kanye was anti-establishment all over the place. And now we gone from anti-establishment to people from Louis and Gucci don't want to let me into those spaces. But I thought you were anti-establishment.
Right, but hold on one second. I do want to pick up with Crystal says she don't know what we're talking about. We were talking about just like what is it? Interracialisms.
Yeah.
So we're covering a bunch of different things dealing with race right now. Recently with Kanye West, a little bit of Trump stuff, and we've got some stuff about Rachel
Dolezal.
Thank you, Dolezal. So that's what we're talking about today, and those issues, and then some things that we talked about because we're in a interracial relationship.
I don't call our relationship interracial.
It's
but
interracial, and I'm gonna get to why. But Crystal, you're exactly right. We are supposed to pray for our leaders. If you're of the Christian faith, the Bible does say you pray for those that are in leadership, because they definitely need prayer. She said explanation does not mean excuses. Exactly, Jen. I agree with that. Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, how I feel about Kanye and his poor choice of words. Words mean things. I've said that 1,005 times. Words mean things. Get you the dictionary. She will help you get the words together.
But on top of that is the fact that, especially, and I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm going to say for minorities, by minority community, that when we have those that do achieve a certain status level, whether that's celebrities, business owners, politicians, whenever you achieve some level of success, what we feel is success, then what you say carries much more credence and weight than just the average Joe Blow on the street. So you have to be cautious and cognizant of what you say, how you say it, what context it's in, the audience that is in, and how it could be delivered or perceived. And that is an extra responsibility that minorities do have.
But I think the thing about it is that Kanye forgot how influential he is. And
I don't think he forgot. I think he knows how influential he is, which is why he's saying what he's saying, and which is why he wore the "Make America Great" hat. When I first saw that picture,
he said that he was trying to, just like the word "nigga," he was trying to change the meaning.
Too soon.
No, but
too soon for that.
But even still, we all can agree that using the word "nigga" is not the best thing to do. We have taken the power away from the word.
You can't say it no more.
Okay. We've taken the power away from the word. We've taken the ER off of it and just added an A. And we think that by changing the spelling of the word that we've taken the meaning behind it.
The power behind it. I'm like,
no, because we have ancestors who have bled for that word. So with that being said, him trying to equate that to that word and "Make America Great" was absolutely ridiculous, because you can't. There's no way that you can equalize those two things. They're two different things. Making America great. America was never great for minorities. Let's be clear. At least black and brown people, America has not been great to us. So with that being said, we can't make America great because it's never been great for us to begin with.
We made America great.
We made America great because we actually built it.
Right.
You know, it wasn't something that these Europeans came over here and sweat over. No, they didn't. Slaves did all that work. I think with Kanye, we have to look at this thing in a bunch of different facets. One, we're dealing with a man who really, honestly and truly, and this is not an excuse for him, has not dealt with the death of his mother. That speaks volumes. Two, we're dealing with a man with mental health issues who has not effectively dealt with his mental health issues.
His health care, yeah.
So, and then we're also dealing with someone who's achieved a certain level of success.
And disconnected, just like...
And just completely disconnected from the struggle completely.
The community as a whole. Issues that affect not even just black people, just people. American citizens. Whether it has to do with taxes, health care, or whatever, but you're oblivious to the struggles of the normal, everyday person.
You've taken yourself to Calabasas with the Kardashians, and you've lost all sense of your mind in Calabasas. Allegedly, he bought 300 acres out there that he plans to build a whole Kanye West complex and build houses and make factories for his clothing and so on and so forth. He has acquired a wealth for who he is that he can now pass on to his children. I mean, and so has his wife laying on her back. But I mean, That's another conversation.
Jen said, but Kanye also has a God complex, so he doesn't feel the need to manage his words. And what was most compelling is that he hasn't lost an audience on Twitter or Instagram, and that's true. He's actually gaining.
All of y'all finna go out and buy the new Yeezys.
He's actually gaining people. When he's working on a CD right now, when they were talking
the
about
CD finna come out in July. All y'all finna buy the CD.
Out a whole, I don't even know, complex, rooms, everything, like the whole thing. He rented out, and he's working on some new music right now. So, let's see. Jaden said, Sean John is a person of color who has a great level of success in the fashion world as well as in the music industry. Why didn't Kanye say he wanted to reach his level of success as a man of color? Sean John is great, but when you're starting to compare them with Gucci,
they don't equate.
They're not the same.
They don't equate. Jaden,
we can afford Sean John.
Baby, we can afford Gucci.
We can, but I can't go to Gucci every day.
No, I can't go to Gucci
but I can
every
go
day.
buy Sean John every single week. That's what I'm saying.
True. The affordability of it all.
Like Fendi, Louis Vuitton. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the average person can't just go there on a whim without planning or budgeting or anything like that and purchase whatever they want from any line of those products.
I mean, I think what it all boils down to, again, is Kanye has... He calls himself a free thinker. I'm all for free thinking. I'm all for us thinking outside of the box and creating and having conversations that we would not be having otherwise. Though he did clean it up and say that we were mentally enslaved, one thing that folks have to understand is that still mentally enslaved. Yep. One thing you have to understand about the slaves back then is that the Stockholm Syndrome is a mother. And if you beat down a person so bad and you constantly remind them that they are worth nothing, that they are nothing, mentally, they start to understand and feel that they are nothing.
They internalize that.
And it comes out.
That in exactly what they do and what they think. And also, Stockholm Syndrome, PTSD, it can be passed down. You can have a secondhand exposure to those things. So even though I was never a physical slave or anything like that, I still suffer from the slavery of my ancestors. And it does manifest itself in my life in some way, shape, or form, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. Crystal made a good point. Because they have success, money, and fame, they are accepted into the club, and they aren't true minorities.
That's a yes and a no.
Right.
It depends.
It depends on who the they are.
Because they'll allow them into certain spaces, but they will not last long. You know, Jay-Z is somebody who has gotten into a lot of those spaces, but he himself has always said that they always remind him that he is the nigga in the room. And that's sad. But that was the quote that he said.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was his quote. That was his quote, baby. And it was funny because he is a man who's established his own wealth. He owned the basketball team. He helped build the bar. He owns parts of the Barclays Center. Mm-hmm. Like, he's done all these major things being an African-American man. And for him to say that at the end of the day, that's how they still view him, and more often than not, he is the only man of color in that room, it's sad. And for Kanye to be able to be in some of the spaces that he has gotten himself into, where he is the only minority in the room, all this chucking and jiving that he's done only perpetuates exactly what white men behind closed doors speak about us already, that we gonna chuck and jive for them. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I feel Kanye West is doing. He's chucking and jiving so he can get himself into those spaces, and that he can be like, yeah, I'm a Negro, however, I'm going to do whatever you want me to do, massa. That's kind of what he gives me.
I don't get that. I guess it's hard for me to see him like that with everything he said and done in the past. Like, it's still hard for me to let go of the Kanye before and fully be like, you know, he's turned over to a person that's unrecognizable. I don't know.
The dude even died. He bleached his hair blonde. Like, you are not Eminem.
Chris Brown has done it. I mean, there's been several.
Chris Brown is not a good example.
Yeah, but he's bleached his hair before. I'm just using that as the first one I can speak of. But he's done it. I'm pretty sure all of the little was it Marquise Houston, that whole group, them little boys. What
Immature.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, that's nothing new. That people bleach their hair blonde is what it is.
But I think
Denzel said the same thing when he was looking for roles early on. He said the same thing. Will Smith has said it. There's been numerous people people that are in the entertainment, sports, whatever business world that have said that they've been the only ones in the room, and they felt that they've been reminded of, yeah, you are the only one in the room, so don't get it twisted.
And I think that, you know, there is this myth that only one black person at a time can get on. And I don't think it's a myth as much as I think it's an actual fact. Because during Denzel's time, Denzel was the only one in the space. When it was Will Smith's turn, he was the only one in the space. So it's like these are affluent African American men and women. Issa Rae is another one. I will say that black women in Hollywood now have gotten a boost. Some,
but not a huge boost. It's still a struggle. When that articles came out not too long ago and stuff, like right before Black Panther, they were talking about the disparaging for women actors, especially when it comes to pay, roles, and all that other stuff. Like, it's ridiculous.
I could imagine. Listen,
I can't do it. I ain't about that.
We live in a world now where Donald Trump, because he is our president, has allowed
he is not my president.
Well, he's the president of the United States, but he ain't mine. He's allowed all the people that were covering themselves in them Ku Klux Klan sheets.
They weren't covering themselves.
They took themselves off, but they
some people aren't uncovered no way. They just feel more.
They're more comfortable now.
But
those who once covered their faces don't cover them anymore. They're out and about and free.
Or cloak themselves in policies and procedures to discriminate against you, like your hair. Certain jobs, having locks is not professional. Blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
Blah, blah. So the ones that used to cover themselves with protection under policy and procedures don't even use them anymore. They just be like, no, we don't want to hire you because you look black.
And because my president said that I don't have to.
Right. And so Jen has a good point. I'm often the only female black immigrant that's in the room. I've had to learn how to stay true to me as an executive while dealing with men who second guess me at every turn. Absolutely. That is the absolute struggle for any minority professional anywhere.
That's for myself as well.
I said any minority professional anywhere, that's the struggle, that we are always second guessed. We always are raised to believe that we have to work twice as hard, that we have to be twice as good, that we have to be twice as smart just to get to the average level of our counterparts that aren't minorities. And that's still the world that we live in. And even when you are twice as good, twice as best, twice as smart, twice as hard at working, you still don't qualify, and somebody else will still get over you because of the color of the skin. She said, but what's interesting is that the white women are standing up for the black one. Jessica Chastain, for Octavia Spencer. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think because 45 has not just attacked minorities as far as race, but a minority as far as gender, that white females are getting on the same bandwagon and understand that you're just as in trouble as we are as well, and they're starting to understand that oppression for one is oppression for all.
Everyone. Yeah,
and so that's an issue for them. Just because you're not black, but because you're a woman, you're still in the same boat with us, and it's seen just as disposable and less than as us as well.
Well, we gonna leave Kanye West, brother Kanye, Mr. West.
But I'm not gonna turn my back on him, because some things he was saying, I was like, I can rock with some of that. Something he was saying, I'm like, I can't flow with you on everything. But I want to see, what's going to evolve and happen from this. I'm definitely not going to just like stay on this morning and night, because it just ain't that important to me. I just thought it was interesting to have this discussion going on at this point in time.
I mean, I ain't never bought no Yeezys anyway, so it don't make me know, never mind. And the last couple of albums I
don't like those.
Anyway, the only song off the last album I liked was Ultralight Beams.
I didn't like any of them. I don't like the old Kanye stuff.
You might like Ultralight Beams. It's like a gospel song.
No, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like him. I don't like him in his new stuff.
Okay, well, that was that. We're gonna move on from Kanye and leave him on the sick and shut in. So please put Kanye on your prayer list, and we're gonna come back to him at a later date. So now, Babe had shared a video with me from Stephon Clark's funeral, the 22. Oh, thank you. I traveled. Stephon Clark is a 22-year-old man who was gunned down in Sacramento by police. At the funeral, Al Sharpton called this young lady up, talking about Miss Clark said you could sing. I've been hearing about you sing all day.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Rachel first. Or we going to come back?
We going to come back.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Program director. Let me sit down.
He's like, you know, I want to hear you sing. Miss Clark told me you could sing. Come on up here and sing a song for us. This heifer got up there and started singing 1 + 1 by Beyonce.
1 + 1 is 2 at a funeral.
At a funeral of a man that was gunned down by.
And she even sung the part, baby, made love to me.
Wait.
I was like, at a funeral.
Wait. Okay, so some of the lyrics to Beyonce's 1 + 1 is, when my days look low,
That's what she
close.
said. This is what she said at a funeral.
Yes, pull me in close, and don't let me go. Make love to me. So when the world's at war, let our love heal us all. Right now, baby, make love to me, me. Oh, make love to me.
At a funeral.
Wait, there's more. Hey, I don't know much about guns,
And the guy was shot.
but I've been shot by you.
And you sung this at his funeral.
Hey, I
On
don't
national
know.
television.
Hey, I don't know when I'm gonna die, but I hope that I'm gonna die with you. Girl,
Hey,
crawl into the
funeral.
casket with the man and get put in the ground right along with him.
When I saw that, I could not believe it. And this was televised. Televised.
All over CNN.
All over CNN. And you sung this at a funeral.
And she sung that song down.
And the right Reverend Al Sharpton was standing right next to you as you sung this song at a funeral.
She just figured this funeral was too old and too sad. I got to sing something to uplift the
There's a
people.
guy, the guy that's doing the cheerleading videos, like he was saying, no ma'am, okay? No ma'am. At a funeral, no ma'am. You don't, at a funeral. I could not believe it. I was just like, did I just really witness this?
Yes, you
Did I really
did.
see this? At a funeral. And all the ministers and the holy, that endowed Bible thumpers, was evangelicals standing right next to you in the pulpit as you sing this song at a funeral.
Reverend Al Sharpton gave the eulogy for Stefan at the funeral in California. And there were a couple of people that went up and sang. Somebody
But they
sang
did not-
Amazing Grace.
That's appropriate for a funeral.
Somebody sang, what's the Tamala Man song? Take Me to the King.
That's appropriate for a funeral.
I forget, somebody else
See,
sang something
what
else.
we need to
and
do
they did a
is-
poem.
Yeah, but what we need to do is, we need to bring back Vacation Bible School. VBS. They used to come through the community, pick the little kids up on the bus, take them to Vacation Bible School so they can learn about Jesus. They can hear all these little stories. They learn the basic, the basic hymns,
Oh,
the basic Jesus love. They learn the basics at Vacation Bible School. So when you go to somebody's funeral and you're asked to sing a song, you know what song is appropriate. And 1 + 1 by Beyonce is not an appropriate song to sing at anybody's
You should not be
funeral.
asking for anybody to be singing Make Love to Me.
At a funeral. That's what I was like, oh my gosh, when I send this to Amy, she is not going to understand.
Oh, Father.
Which brings me, I'm going to create a list of the top 5 things you don't do at a funeral.
Oh.
Because people pass away all the time. Funeral season's probably coming up. 'Cause people they get a little crazy in the summertime. They go, funeral season coming up. So for funeral season, I got top 5 list of 5 things you don't do at a funeral. Number 5, if you go to a funeral, I don't care if it's funeral day or whomever. Don't you go to that funeral wearing a t-shirt with the picture of the deceased on there, RIP, and wings on the back of it at the funeral. Don't you wear them t-shirts. We gonna miss you. Gone too soon to the funeral. Number 4, don't wear jeans, sneakers, Timberlands to a funeral. And no gang colors to a funeral. Red and blue, 2 colors you don't wear. Black and gray. Stay right there. That's perfect right there. That's appropriate for a funeral. Number 3, don't you take no live animal like a dove and hold it in your hand until it's time to release and you don't realize the strength of your own hands, and you crush the dove, and when you try to get the fly, it flops. Okay? If you're releasing any live animals, doves, butterflies, whatever, leave them in the cage until you're ready to release them so they stay alive. I seen that picture. You saw that of a video of the funeral, and they released the dove, and the dove dropped down to the ground dead because they didn't squeeze the dove to death. Yes, don't do that. That's number 3, right? Number 2. I can't. Don't use this time at the gravesite for you to jump in the casket.
Oh no!
Because you will get buried with the deceased. Look, there's appropriate protocol for a funeral. Once you get to that casket, that body laying up there, that's all it is. They are gone. There ain't no need for you to try to get right then. Go get right in your own time.
Shout outs to my grandmother and sisters
screaming,
trying to jump in.
rolling down the aisle, foaming at the mouth, all that. Ah! Don't do all that. Don't do all that. You're doing too much. You out of order. The Bible says that God works in decency, and that is not decent, and nor is that order. All that foolishness. And number 1, don't you sing no secular song about making love to nobody at no funeral. That's not appropriate. If you don't know of no songs to sing, you sit down. Or you ask somebody, can you pull up some lyrics for me to sing? Or better yet, you always keep Amazing Grace in your pocket. If you're a singer and you going to a funeral in the church, there's a chance they might ask you to sing. You better learn Amazing Grace before you go, so you always have something to sing at a funeral that's not 1 + 1 is 2. Don't you sing about making love to nobody at no funeral. That's my top 5. Funeral season's coming. Them the top 5 right there. All right, I'm done.
I have no words. Okay, just so y'all know, I didn't know what she was going to say in this top 5. So,
them t-shirts. Oh, Lord. Somebody making some serious money.
T-shirts and buttons.
T-shirts and buttons. What is you doing?
How would the person think?
They can't see you wearing them t-shirts.
Oh, Father. Oh, Father.
You okay, baby?
I'm okay.
All right. That's it. That's all I got to say about the funeral.
Okay, talking about funerals, let's talk about thought season is upon us.
Y'all know it's hot right now. Hell is real.
I'm gonna need you.
Especially in the South, it's getting warm. And stop calling them
that. Y'all know that I done posted up some posts, some of you thoughts, for all of y'all who live in the New York tri-state area, New York, New Jersey.
Just share the video and tell them where they can watch the top 5 at. Just give them the time when I start talking about top
5. We got to find a way to cut that so we can post it. Like I said, thought season is among us. You hoes need to get your life together.
I mean, we don't pray about this because you got an issue with like side chicks and all that. Like I think you have something personal against these people. Like you just be calling them all kinds of names. Look, it takes 2. I can't be a side chick unless it's a main chick, and it's a main chick. It's your fault. You just responsible. I
don't like them either. I don't like the men and the women who be having the side chicks.
But we always talking about the women. That it takes 2, and sometimes the women don't know now. Sometimes that
for those we can give a pass.
All right. So how about we just say hot season for people that just don't dress inappropriate just because it's warm? You done lost your mind season. How about that? The top 5 for you done lost your mind just because it's hot.
Yeah, the top 5 reasons. Okay, for those of you who live up north, up the coast of New York, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Connecticut,
DMV,
it's starting to get warm. We got 90-degree weather this week.
They do it here in the South too.
I mean,
whenever the weather is getting warm at this point,
you hookers be ready with your outfits on, ready from the night before. You got your outfits posted up because you know what you finna wear. I know it's getting warm, so I got some thoughts for some of you women. I'm going to need y'all to get right this summer. Okay, first of all, for some of you ladies thinking y'all are extra cute, I'm going to need you to make sure that your pedicure is on point. Stop coming out the house with
looking like this.
Yes, crunching over the front of the shoe. I'm going to need you to get your life. And lotion, heifers, lotion. Lotion is your friend.
It's an investment of the best lotion. I'm going to tell you right now. Ooh, girl, they better give me some money for this. Okay, look. Okay, I don't like to be ashy, and you know, for people that have a lot of melanin in their skin, sometimes ashiness is an issue. So it took me a while to find some good lotion. But for the past, I don't know how many years I've been using this lotion, but it is amazing. Carry Care with shea butter, the best lotion you'll ever find. I'm trying to tell you, if you got issues with ashiness, this lotion, honey, I'm telling you, it's like the balm of Gilead. That's how good this lotion is. I buy it in like 2, 3 at a time. Yes, so that way I keep it, always have it, because when I go to the store, sometimes I don't have it. It's just that good. I'm trying to tell you, Carry Care with shea butter will save your life.
So number 5 is you need to go get a pedicure. And the people at the shoe store, do not allow them to purchase any kind of open-toed shoes until they show you their receipt from the nail salon where they got their toes done. Stop. If you want to be thotting around here for the summer, at least look appropriate. At least let your feet look together, okay? That's number 5. Number 4, stop dropping your babies off to their mammy house every weekend. Them kids want to go play too. Stop dropping them off at your mama's house so you can be sitting up at the club with everybody.
Ooh, I got a picture. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but if your feet look like that in your shoe, that's what she's talking about right there.
You are not allowed.
Right there.
You are not allowed. Okay? Again, number 4, stop dropping your babies off at Mama's house, at my mom's house, at Granny's house, at whoever. Stop dropping them off. All them kids see is the back of your head every time they leave the house talking about you be back. You ain't coming back. Stop playing. Them kids want to go play. They want to spend some time with you. So guys, get your life in order.
Call them that. You gonna pray.
Number 3, I need you hoes to buy clothes that fit. Stop buying clothes 2 sizes too small. Baby, stop. These heifers is swole. Now, I'm a former big girl. You know, I'm getting thick in the hips a little something now. Baby was trying to... Shut up. I'm trying to get thick like a Snicker. So, you know, I used to be a big girl, okay? I understand. Honey, take yourself to Ashley Stewart. Go somewhere else. Stop buying size large. And
Torrid,
I
think Torrid is still in.
You trying to squeeze yourself into size large and you know you were 2X. Stop playing.
Everything for everybody.
I don't want to see all the lumps and bumps and rolls come out.
One size does not fit all.
And it's not attractive. Get your life in order. Buy some clothes that fit. Oh, and stop shopping at Forever 21 and they cheap clothes.
Oh, what's the other store? Rainbows Fashion. Oh man!
Shut up, cause listen.
Look, I'm sorry. It's not for larger size women. Rainbow Fashion is a no, honey. Every color of the rainbow is gonna be shown with you. You shop
exactly.
And go to Rainbows.
Oh, y'all going in the Rainbows, and you know you can only wash it and wear it one time, cause after you wash it, it's done for. Stop it.
Right.
Number 2, make sure y'all go to the Planned Parenthood and make sure your IUDs is in place. You got your condoms and all your STD testing is on point. Because we don't need you over here spreading all your fleas and ticks and whatever else you got going on. Make sure you take yourself to the Planned Parenthood, get your STDs in order, make sure your IUD is on point, that Depo-Provera shot was put in on point. Because it's getting warm, lady. You know for the next 3 months.
I bet yet, just don't do nothing, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, these rates... Oh, that's what I found. Honey, these rates for HIV and AIDS, they are real. I mean, women are no longer the largest growing population, especially in South Carolina. It's back to men. So I'm trying to tell y'all, look, these STDs, they real. Don't give nobody a gift that keeps on giving and get mad when somebody gave you a gift you can't get back. So just don't do it. All these December, January, February babies. Right.
Exactly. So make sure go to the nearest Planned Parenthood before Donald Trump take all funding away. They give you free HIV testing all the time.
Know your status.
Know your status.
Swab your baby mouth.
Exactly. Make sure that you got your IUDs put in. Make sure that your Depo-Provera shot is on point. So that when you go out,
pills,
you know,
giving time every day.
Yup. Make sure that when you going out there giving your coochie coupon out, that is on
like
point.
2 for 1.
We just saying. Okay?
It is on the rise. It's ridiculous. In 2018, on the rise? Come on. And what else? Oh, was it syphilis? What was that disease that students had? Syphilis. Not even syphilis. It's making a comeback. I was like, syphilis? Isn't that like an old person disease? Like, who's had syphilis? this. And on top of that too, HIV and AIDS is on the rise in age groups above, was it 50 now?
Yeah, 40.
40s? Old folks in senior citizen homes, honey, passing around. Look. HIV and AIDS ain't got no respect of age, race, gender, orientation. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to tell you, don't play with this thing. It's real out here.
Okay, thoughts number 2. Do not get yourself caught up in any scandal with any basketball player or celebrity.
Yeah. See, y'all doing the most.
See now, y'all done got the minister riled up about chlamydia. I ain't heard chlamydia until my heyday.
Thank you, God, that I've never had an STD, because I was wild back in my youth, honey. Wow. But pray, thank you, Jesus.
Well, if you don't mess with no thoughts, then you ain't got no problem.
I don't know if they were thoughts or not. They could have been telling me anything. That don't mean nothing. But I'm just saying,
Let's be clear. We all know what the thoughts look like.
I know now, no, ma'am. I probably would have never had. Oh no, I probably would never had sex. Man, I'm trying to tell you, you don't know who got. Man, look, you won't catch me with the okie doke.
Number 2, ladies. I know y'all gonna be thotting around in the clubs. Please, please, please do not get yourself caught up in no scandals. Let's try to keep the scandals to a minimum this year. We don't need no more pictures with Tristan. Johnson, leaving out.
Everybody got a picture with Tristan. I got a picture with Tristan.
We don't need no more pictures.
My mama got a picture with Tristan.
Everybody got a picture with Tristan. We don't need no scandals.
See, now you stripping Shonda now. You just telling me too much now. I'm gonorrhea resistant to treatment. See, that's a Vietnam disease, ain't it? The gonorrhea. That's what they got a lot.
Baby,
there was a lot.
Baby, we ain't got it though, so you ain't got to worry about them things.
I know that.
You got good, clean girl.
Don't touch me. Made me scared. Y'all, I'm telling you, I ain't
My top 5 went the way the dodo bird.
I know you know, so is she, but she don't want to tell me this stuff because she know how I am. I'm like, it just.
Listen, I don't be telling. Why I got to tell her?
See, thoughts are in church with long skirts on. what is it? They got the Pentecostal suit.
The Pentecostal starter pack.
The Pentecostal starter pack with those white skippies and long jean skirts.
Nikita, I need you to be quiet. Stop telling
the truth. See,
Nikita, I need you to be quiet. Stop telling them. Listen. The minister got a first lady, so we ain't got them issues. Thank you, Jesus.
God is good. Oh, bless.
All the time.
I'm so favored.
Oh my God. Listen.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm gonna just forget about the top 5 because it went the way to go.
I think you got 5, ain't it?
Just about. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
If we missing one, you fill in the blank with your phone.
LOL. Thoughts in the church. But let's wait. Let's stop. Those be the biggest ones.
But they in the right place. Amen. They in the right place.
How they in the right place?
Baby, it's a process. Just because they're there and they still doing doesn't mean that God ain't gonna do something for them at some point in time. You keep going, baby. You keep going.
No, don't be the thoughts in the church that be trying to slide up with the minister and the pastor.
That don't mean that God is not going to touch them through somebody's sermon. You keep going. If you're in the house and the Spirit is there, I believe that the Holy Spirit is just that powerful that it will still touch them and they won't leave the same. So it may take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple of Sundays for it to happen, but it's going to happen. You keep
1,
going.
2, 3, 4, 5, a couple of deacons, pastors,
and see.
Listen, we ain't forgetting Bishop Ed alone.
We're not gonna do him like that.
God bless the dead, but he had a lot of little boys running around.
Let's keep moving. You get off topic.
Okay. Wait a minute. Allergic to thoughts. Help us, Jesus. Yes, we are allergic to thoughts. Oh my God.
I will touch him just to try to touch the back. See, y'all so wrong. Y'all so wrong. Y'all supposed to embrace him in love. Love is what will do it.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to oh my God, Rachel Dolezal.
Okay, yeah, this is our last one, girl.
Okay, so if you guys have Netflix, which I'm sure you all do, or y'all stealing Netflix from somebody who actually paid for it, you got somebody password. Let's be real now. Y'all know that Rachel Dolezal has a documentary out.
Yes, and it's called Rachel Divide.
And for those of y'all who
not
don't
racial,
know,
Rachel Divide.
For those of y'all who don't know, in 2015, Rachel Dolezal, I don't love them thoughts, sorry.
Make sure y'all share the video now, they can get on.
Yeah. Rachel Dolezal was outed in 2015 as not being a black woman.
Right.
So basically, she was the president of the Spokane, Washington NAACP chapter. She was doing a whole lot of Black Lives Matter movements, and she was
an advisor to the police judicial committee or something like that.
Yes, where she talked about officers using body cams. And
very, very instrumental.
She was also a professor at the Eastern Washington University and she taught African studies. Africana studies.
Yeah.
So basically, she was running around looking like a light, bright black woman. That's the best way that I could say it. Anyway, shout outs to all my light skins. Anyway, what had happened was that she got outed. Apparently, she claims that she was receiving all sorts of hate mail from people to the NAACP P.O. box, and people were saying that it was a lie, that it was something wrong.
It raised
a red flag.
A red flag, because people were like, "Oh, what you mean? This hasn't happened before." Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And so it started an investigation with the with people there. People started asking questions. And so,
lo and behold, it came out that she was not a black woman.
This journalism researched and found out
that she had white parents.
And he asked her during an interview that he had not prepared her for, "Are you black?" And she's like, "What? I don't
understand the question."
He's like, "Are you black?
Are both your parents white?"
Yeah, right. And she was like, and she walked off.
Yeah.
And so then it just, boom, hit the fan.
It spiraled out of control, and then her parents actually came out and started giving all types of interviews saying that we are her parents and this, and the third. And then more came out about her. She went to Howard University. Shout out to everybody at Howard.
You know.
She sued Howard University.
Right.
Because she was white and they weren't giving her the opportunities in certain programs. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot that ended up coming out about Rachel Dolezal. And it also brought up the question of, she said that she was transracial.
Right. But you got to watch the documentary.
I don't want to give too much. Oh, we gonna give it away because we got to talk about it. We could leave a little bit
because I really want them to watch it.
You really need to watch it so you can see it from her lens. Of all the people I feel any sympathy for, I feel sympathy for her children.
I feel sympathy for her too. I really do. Because the only issue that I really have with her, this is the issue I have, is that you sued. Well, actually, I don't have an issue with that either, because you sued Howard because you're white. You felt that they were keeping you out of stuff. In that context and in that space and in that time, you were justified.
Okay.
So I can separate that. Now, the other thing is you identify as black. You know what? I don't have an issue with that, because I'm like, look, if you're willing to take on everything that comes along with being black, whether you're light skinned or not, doesn't matter, because we do have people in our community that are very fair skinned, but they are still black. It does not negate them or take them out of our experience because they're lighter. Yeah, their experience is going to be different, but I'm not going to treat them any less and be like, you know, you're not worthy enough to be black, even though you are, just because you're lighter than. So if you want to claim to be black, African American, or whatever, and to deal with all the things that come along with being black in America in this day and age, do you, boo? Because I don't know anybody signing up for that training.
I mean, I think the problem with Rachel Dolezal is that a lot of people are saying that she's really perpetuating her white privilege.
How? She's given up her white privilege to embrace a life that has no privilege at all, unless you're fair skinned. And that's what she. But you know what? The people in the movie that had an issue, that were very vocal. Did you notice what hue they were?
They were darker.
They were darker skinned.
I mean, this also brings about the conversation.
Person that said or had an issue with her taking on being black. Nobody. All of you that were vocal and that had very strong feelings were darker hued or brown hued individuals in our community. So my thing is, would they have an issue if she was darker? You know what I'm saying? Like a more tan woman?
I think what the problem is that some people made the comment that, you know, her white privilege allows her to move into these spaces unbothered and unfazed. I don't think so, because when they showed all her activism that she did, she was being treated like a black woman. She wasn't treated.
She's definitely being treated like a black woman.
Yeah, she really was being treated like a black woman. She wasn't being treated as anything other than a black woman. But not to be funny, no tea, no shade. You can look at her and be like, you mixed with something.
Right, I would say she was mixed with something. And on top of that, too, if you look at our history, there's plenty of African Americans that have toted the line. And if they could pass for white, they would. If you look at some history stories that were told, and I wish I had pulled some of the references that they were documented too, that white men that have married white women had children with them, and then the children come out looking not so white. It's only when they start questioning, like, wait a minute, I thought you were white, and they found out the woman they married were black, actually, but they were so fair-skinned. So it's not like this hasn't happened historically, where us, if we could pass for something other, has taken advantage of that and done so. She's just doing it on the other side.
She's doing it on the other side, but then there were stories and reports that came out that she low-graded other black women for their blackness, saying that they were not black enough.
Now, wait a minute.
I was like,
now, in context, if you're saying they're not black enough because they're not advocating, that they're not protesting, that they're not doing all that they can do for our community, I absolutely agree. Because there are some black women that say, no, you're not black enough. If you, yes, and if you're not doing anything, and I'm not saying everyone has to be out there marching or whatever, but you should be doing something to help our culture. You should be doing something in our community. You should be doing something to show that Black Lives Matter, as other than wearing a t-shirt.
I agree. I mean, the documentary documents her life with her children. It documents what happens in Spokane, Washington, with just her going to take her kids to the barber shop.
Now I was disgusted at that.
Yeah,
that was absolutely disgusting.
She took her boys to the barber shop, and the owner came out and told her, "You can't be here. You need to
move. I don't care what you do. Just get out from my shop." And I was like, "Dude, why?" I mean, the hostility, man, it's absolutely ridiculous. For what? Because she says she's black. And my thing is, okay, she says she's black. That does not justify anybody being nasty to her or her children, especially her newborn. Now, the comments that were on Facebook and Twitter, I was completely appalled. Yeah, that was absolutely disgusting.
The kids that she has, she adopted her brother.
Right. People don't know about that. Tell us a little bit about that.
You have to. Okay.
Oh, wait. Before we get to that, Jen, she does explain a little bit in the documentary of why. And it has a lot of context to do with how she was raised and how she was raised, and you start to see her in just a different light, and you can understand why she wants to disassociate not with just her family,
but the white race
altogether.
That's the one thing that made me sympathetic to her, was once I realized what her home life was like.
That's the why. You got to ask people why. You got to be willing to hear their story without your biases affecting you hearing and listening to it.
Okay, so she was born to a white mother and father. Their names, oh my gosh, I have it written down.
Ruthie and
Larry.
Yeah,
Ruth Ann and Larry. So she has an older brother.
They were very religious.
She was
very religious.
She has an older brother named Joshua, and he was born at home. And the witness to his birth was Jesus Christ.
That's what it says on his birth certificate.
And hers as well, because she shows her birth certificate, and it says the witness that witnessed her birth was Jesus Christ.
That's how religious they were. They didn't believe in midwives, anything like that.
They had these kids at the house.
At the house.
So she had the older brother, and the older brother was a regular.
His birth was so
easy.
Breezy. They considered him to be a miracle and blessed and blah blah blah.
Then here comes Rachel.
Right.
The mother almost died giving birth to Rachel. She bled out. And because of that, her family viewed her as the curse. And the brother was the blessing.
And they treated her as such.
Then they decided to go and adopt all these black kids. All of them.
They felt the Lord guided them to adopt. And all the kids they adopted
were black. And there were articles that were published about this family who was going about, adopting all these African American kids and all this stuff. So fast forward some, the brother, who is the blessing, was sexually abusing not only Rachel,
allegedly, because we can't say anything. We don't want no lawsuits on our end.
but he was also allegedly raping the adopted sister Esther,
sexually assaulting and abusing the
black sister Esther. So Rachel now wanted nothing to do with her family. She ended up adopting her one foster brother, Isaiah. So he no longer is her foster brother, he is her son.
Right. And you know what was funny too, that I'm now thinking about the documentary? One of the siblings, children that they born was very fair skinned. And I thought he was white. I was like, why did they say he's black?
He's biracial.
He's the only one of the adopted kids that's still fooled
with them.
Yep.
With the mother and the father. Esther, okay, let's be clear. The brother was arrested and charged with sexual assault on Esther, and he went to jail.
Now here's the twist, though. Here's aha.
And this is when you look at the parents with the side eye, and now you think about all the times they've been on the news, why they've been on the news.
Exactly. And Jen, you were right on it. Yep.
The brother, her credibility was totally shot.
Right. So they were using their interviews to destroy Rachel's credibility because she was testifying
against the brother
because they were saying that Esther's case against the brother was circumstantial. It was his word against hers, and they only believed that it was true when Rachel said it's true because he also did it to me.
Yes.
And she was just about to testify when this all broke out.
Exactly.
When this story supposedly broke out now that she was black at this moment. Broke out is when they start investigating her race, and that's when her parents started being on all types of interviews. Oh, she's a liar. She's been lying,
and she's a pathological liar.
All that stuff. And because of all this stuff that happened, so for this, the case was supposed to go to trial. They dropped the case.
Well, Esther goes on to say that she was they had mistreatment, that the mother used to beat them with a glue gun and a baboon whip. She also states that she was sexually abused by Joseph Dolezal, and for a while he faced charges for this abuse, but they were dropped in 2015. One reason the case was dismissed appeared to be the discredibility of Dolezal, which is Rachel, who has claimed that her brother also sexually abused her. The problem with Dolezal is that she has been caught in one too many lies, and no one can really believe a word that she says anymore. And this has a profound impact on the lives of others as well as her own. So because of this situation, and because she was outed, basically, not only did this affect the lives of her life, it affected the lives of her children and her siblings. Yeah. So there's an ongoing effect. Then you have the parents who have been on every news cycle saying that she's a pathological liar, but never once did they talk about Joseph Dolezal at all. They didn't talk, at no time did any of the newscasters go and
do their research, their due diligence, and be like, well, wait a minute.
Isn't your son going to jail for sexual assault?
Nobody
and this is no one did that. So now you have poor Esther, who's sitting here, who is one of the black children that her family adopted, with no justice, essentially, because
or at least not a day in court, whether he's proven guilty or not even a chance to take the case before anybody.
Exactly.
Nobody will pick up the case now.
So now she's basically not going to get any justice. She lives with the scars of what her adoptive brother has done to her,
and her adopted mom,
and her adopted mother and father, all of them. So now, in my opinion, I feel like Rachel took on the African American thing to disassociate herself not only from her parents, but from white people, period. Once she saw how African Americans were being treated.
Right. She felt like and she says that even in the documentary, I felt like I had to save them. I felt like I had to, be there for them. And so she felt also in their home that they grew up in, there was no type of cultural awareness or diversity for these African American kids.
They just
even
grew
the
up
kids
white.
Saying they brought them up to be white. And so Rachel was the only one that they were allowed to check out books by African American authors, any books about African American culture, anything like that. And so she took that and taught them something about the culture. She was the culture in the family.
She was the black woman in the house,
she was
basically.
the black woman in the house. So it's not hard for me to believe or see how she felt more connected with that experience, because it was positive for one. It put her in a position where she felt needed and loved for the first time.
Exactly. Because remember, she's been born the curse.
Right.
So with that being said, you can only start
Please
to
watch the
imagine
documentary. It was really good.
what her childhood was like being the cursed child. Right. Now that does not take away from her running around saying that she's a black woman. Because at the end of the day,
right.
A lie is a lie, a lie is a lie.
Right. But just like Jen said, I don't think no one is knowingly becomes a black unless under duress. I think that she should rest and move forward. God has an amazing way of meting out justice where humanity cannot. Absolutely, those people will be dealt with and she will be healed. I agree. I honestly, you said earlier too that look, she's a black woman, let's keep her. I agree, Jen. If we want to keep and throw some people out, I got 2 we can throw out. Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. We can throw them out, and I'll take Rachel as being black anytime.
I think that's the piece that people are getting upset about. Everybody's all caught up in the hype. Oh, she's trying to take the black struggle. Well, stop acting like the black artwork.
I was like, her artwork, like, this woman is. Man, look.
The black struggle. No tea, no shade. Who wants that strike?
Right.
Nobody wants that strike. If she, as a white woman, want to take on what it is to be black, by all means, honey, here you go. Take it. Wear it on your back. Do what you got to do. It's not like she was going around as a black woman and wasn't trying to create change.
And wasn't doing something with it. That's the thing that I'm like, she was doing something with it. And also, too, the other issue I had is that one of the people in the video brought up, they were mad at the fact that, she was making headway. She was making movements, but they felt that she was able to make movements because
she was so light.
But my thing is, irregardless, someone was making movement where no one else was able to. So are you going to just throw away the movement that someone is making, progression that they're moving?
Well, because it does not fit the mold.
Who cares?
But people are so caught up on that.
Yeah, but if laws and policies were being changed
because of her.
So what? I don't care if you're purple with polka dot stripes.
Now let's be clear. Spokane, Washington is not.
It is not racially friendly.
It's not racially friendly at all.
To Washington, Seattle, I had a good time. I've been to Washington a couple of times. But Spokane, hunty. Let me tell you this.
Spokane is not a good place, and the NAACP was trying to create a lot of change in that.
We are all from Africa. Absolutely. If you really want to be real, I agree with you, Jen. If you really want to be real and do some history and backdrop, we all from Africa.
So now, with that being said, we were having a discussion.
Oh, we went out of time, baby.
We good.
We might have to.
We had a discussion where I said I consider myself to be a black woman, and what had happened is that this one was over here talking about, you Latino.
Black. You are Latinx, X, whatever y'all putting down. Latinx.
Latina.
No, but it's got an X now because it's supposed to be an X for male and female or other.
I don't know what all that is. All I know is that
inclusive, boo. Learn. Go to books.
This is okay. Anyway, when you fill out this one, pulled up the census.
I sure did.
But whatever. The census. When you, there's always a box that says race, and then there's a box that says ethnicity. When it's in the race, it says black,
Latina.
White.
No, it does not. I showed it to you. Under it says. What is it? Okay, ethnicity, race.
Race, black and white.
And the race, you are other, and that's where you put your box in. They just don't. And this is the argument that and it's documented too. This is the argument that Latinas, the X, are having right now because they want a separate box other than putting in their other. They feel that they've gotten to a point where they need to have their own, identity on it because it has Pacific Islander and something. I
think people are splitting hairs too much. Let's be clear. There's black, there's white. No, but it is. Your ethnicity.
Ask the Asian person that.
No, but that's your ethnicity. Let's be clear.
No,
I have gone to places where I've gone to government agencies. Okay, even to fill out my passport. My passport says that I am a white Hispanic.
Baby,
ain't that right about me?
What your passport says. The last time I checked, you were Dominican, correct? Where was your daddy born?
In Dominican Republic.
Where was your mama born?
They don't know.
Where was your mama? Where was your daddy's parents born from? Where are they from?
My grandmother's Dominican. My father's from my
grandfather
is from Trinidad.
Where your mama parents from?
My mother's great grandmother is from Puerto Rico, and they're all Hispanic. They're Hispanic.
So my point is, baby, you can be black, just like Rachel, and identify, but you are not black.
I disagree.
You can disagree all day.
Okay, this is not me trying to take on the plight of a black woman. Okay, because I want to make that
You're
clear.
from Trinidad.
I want to make that clear, and I'm not trying to make fun of anything or anything like that. First of all, when people automatically see me, they automatically think that I'm a black
Just
woman.
because they see you and
Stop.
assume that does not make it right.
I know.
Nor is it an assumption that you have to carry either because you feel like you have to.
No.
At the end of the day, again, you are not black.
Let me finish, please.
Go ahead and finish. I'm getting hot behind that. People, I can't.
One thing that I am very much educated on is the origin of the island of Hispaniola.
You
Okay?
sound like was bread.
Shut up. I'm very aware. I'm very, very aware of the island of Hispaniola. For those of you who do not know where the island of Hispaniola is, the island of Hispaniola is where Dominican Republic and Haiti sit. Okay? That island is called the island of Hispaniola. Slaves were brought to the island of Hispaniola. That was their first stop on the transatlantic voyage, was Haiti. Hispaniola. So we have African roots and cultures in Dominican Republic, okay? If you see my daddy is as dark as my boo thing.
He is not that dark, y'all.
My daddy
He's
is dark.
exaggerating.
My daddy is dark.
He brown. You ain't gonna do all that. Keep going.
My daddy is dark. My sisters, and you've seen them.
Everything compared to her is dark anyway.
I mean, but I have sisters, blood sisters to me that are the complexion of.
They are not my complexion, baby.
Baby, my sister Karen is dark like you.
Okay, if you say so.
At the end of the day,
Jen, right, but my thing is, like I was telling her, there's a difference between being black. The black experience, I think, is associated with the experience of those in America.
and I can get
Afro-Latina. If she has an Afro-Latina, you are absolutely right.
No, and I consider myself an Afro-Latina.
Right, but you said black. I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, see, this is where again we're splitting hairs. I'm looking at it as I'm just black. I'm not looking at it as American black, and that's where me and you have the disconnect.
Where were you born at?
I was born in Manhattan.
Right, but where did you grow up elsewhere? Where else?
It's Dominican Republic. What?
Thank you. Where? Say it again. Where?
Dominican Republic.
Thank you. So, but this is why I had the conversation with her. It was like, okay, black experience is different than saying you're Afro-Latina. There's a difference. Your experience is very different. Hold on. Your experience is very different than one born and raised and brought up in America as a black person or any other European country as well. Now, if you were born in America but grew up Dominican Republic, or where else did your sister was there?
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. It's totally different experience than
And
you
I
have
can agree.
here.
Okay, I can agree. Let's be clear. I did come back to the States. Clearly, I'm here. So with that being said, no, I do not understand and I was also raised up north. I was raised in New York. So my black experience is not going to be your black experience or for those who live in the South or in different
Nor
parts
is
of
it
the
going to
region.
be close to anybody else's black experience either.
Exactly. So with that being said, I'm not saying, I don't know
But you
if
know,
all
baby.
of my ancestors, I don't know if my ancestors were slaves. They probably could have been. The island of Hispaniola was nothing but slaves. Am I mixed with some sort of European and Spaniard? Of course. Because why? Folks from Dominican Republic, the Spaniards came in and so did the European and they slept with the women. It just is what it is. I never want to take away from the black experience that
If
people...
you got a phone, we can add you to the conversation, Jen. If you got an Apple phone, we'll add you to the conversation if you want to come in. But, I mean, Jen has a good... black in America is culture. Black in the Dominican Republic is different. But black means this dysphoria, not just one country's culture. I agree with that, but we were talking about as far as just black as race and cultural experience. So I was saying to her that, no, I can't, for me personally, consider her black. If she identifies as black, I'm going to support that. I mean, because it's my boo and she'll be my Rachel Dolezal. And so if you want to identify as black, then knock yourself out. You black too. But I also want her to realize that that is just not it for you.
No, and I understand. I get that.
When we enter a room, even together or separately, she will be treated differently.
And I've experienced that. Okay.
And we've experienced that just recently.
Yes.
So that's why I keep saying to her, like, baby, it's hard for me to consider you black when even in the same arena or rooms or environments, we are both treated differently, but we both claim black.
And I can understand that. In Dominican Republic, when you go to, there's a lot of colorism. My sister is my younger sister is darker than me, and because she is darker than me, you can add her.
I can't. It's not add next to you.
Oh, because she doesn't have an iPhone. I think.
Oh, if you don't have an iPhone, I can't add you.
My sister.
Oh, you have an Apple? Okay, turn it on so I can add you, and then we'll try to get you on before we close out.
My
second back.
My sister.
I send a request.
Yeah, I'll send a request to join in. My sister's, my youngest sister is darker than me. She's the complexion of my father. And we good. When we're together, or even my sister that actually lives in Dominican Republic now, her and I can go into the same space, and even with my grandmother, I'm preferred.
Yeah.
I'm preferred because I am the lighter one. And I'm not as dark as my other siblings. Mind you, out of all of the kids my father has, it's only 2 of us that are like this complexion. So we are the ones that are we are the preferred set because we're the lighter ones. So I can understand that discrimination piece of it. And I sympathize with people who have the Black experience that you talk about. I get upset about it. I'm like, ooh, like, it angers.
Girl, you can't do this, but hold on now.
It angers me to a degree. It angers me so much because not only do we deal with racism, but we deal with the colorism within our own community. Yeah. And because I am light and more preferred than my boo thing here, I do understand that I am allowed into certain spaces and different opportunities because of my color. But then it's for those of us like myself to turn right back around and pull those people back in who may be darker hued or who have the experience and can do the work or whatever it is that we need. You need to be able to reach back and pull back those people. There she goes.
Okay. We're going to add you in a second.
And I just think that it's sad. I can sympathize with Rachel Dolezal, and I understand what she did, but at the end of the day, honey, you are a white woman, and if you want to, you could take off that yucky wig and do.
Hi. I look awful. I apologize. I was cleaning my house while listening to y'all.
So give us.
Hi, Tanya. I haven't seen you in ages.
I know, it's been a long time.
So I don't know if you would mind me interjecting.
Yeah.
As a Black Caribbean person,
yeah.
being an immigrant, it's been interesting. So my experience in Trinidad has been, I'm dark-skinned, and my sister-in-law, who is of Venezuelan descent but grew up in Trinidad, is preferred, right? So because she's super light-skinned, soft, long hair, etc., etc. So when my brother and her were building their house, she would conduct all the work. She would do all the government business because they would prefer to talk to her than my midnight Black brother, right? He was not Black. He was Black. Okay. And then, but what I was saying before about the African American experience, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Your girlfriend, Tanya? Hi, Majesty. It's nice to meet you. I was identifying with you completely because, when I'm brown, so when I'm seen, people automatically assume I'm African American and they treat me a certain way. But then when I start to speak, because I have command of the English language, right. I sing classical music, blah, 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 their whole attitude changes because I'm a foreigner. So there's another collection of thought processes that go on. She's an immigrant, but she's well-bred, blah, blah, blah. She can have a seat at the table, right? At the end of the day, though, what I was saying, Tanya, I hear you when you say, I'm not Black or Majesty isn't Black. I get it. I understand. What I was trying to describe is that, at least my perspective on Black is that it's not just a cultural thing by country. It is a diasporic thing. Our Blackness, immediately, I often ask God, I said, of all of us, you have to give us the darkest skin, right? So we stand out the most, and therefore we have the ability to pierce through things that are otherwise homogenous. And that either makes people excited or scared, right? And in most cases, it freaks people out, which is why you have cop killings. It's why you have all these stereotypes. It's why you have this or it's why you have that. Because you have a group of people of varying shades of brown that are skilled in a variety of different ways. And you can't really figure out the culture because we carry our culture loud and proud and strong, and we don't fit in any boxes at all in any way. When I turned 40, I decided I was just going to be me. So them white people at my job, they can't deal, and I'm okay with that. So this is why I was saying it's the diaspora. It is what is ingrained in our bones. It is what is infused in our spirits as Black people, whether we're African Americans, Afro Trinidadians, African Afro Don Repicans. I don't know if that's the right term. The point is that Dominicans. Okay, so the similarities of experience, of cultural experience, often outweighs the differences in miraculous ways. It's kind of compelling, but also the similarities in treatment of those that are of pink hue per circa Dr. Kershaw is also the same. Even though I'm allowed a seat at the table, even though I'm tolerated because I'm well-spoken and well whatever, I'm still Black. So I'm still second guessed, and I'm still questioned, and I'm still left out of the conversation, and I'm still such and whatnot, right? I'm still marginalized. I still have to work my ass off. I still have to count the pennies, etc., etc. I've done it all, but I'm literally still treated like just another person off of a plantation. However, just because I'm treated that way doesn't mean I accept the treatment, nor does it mean I govern my life according to that treatment. You feel me? Because I am a king. I am a child of the king. So ain't nobody got time for anything else. Anyway, this conversation was so fantastic. I was like, oh my God, I wish I was in the room.
Thank you. We are so glad that you listened and that you got something from it. These are the conversations we need to keep having. And letting people understand it's okay for us to be different, and it's even okay for us to have differences in opinions.
Absolutely.
Just to keep the conversation going, because that's the only way we're going to get anywhere.
Absolutely. You guys tag me the next time you're on, because I was jonesing. I was having a ball. I was cracking up. I was like, yes.
Again too. I'm glad you joined talking to Miss you.
I miss you too, sweetheart. And I'm so glad you're happy.
Oh man. this is joy. This is different. This is joy.
It makes me happy, Tanya.
Good.
All right, I will sign off with my unmakeup, no hair combing self. This is gonna be on the internet webs for life, and somebody's gonna pull it up and go, Jen, remember when? I'm gonna be like, you know what? I was still sexy then.
You let them know. Thanks so much for watching.
Take care.
Well, we want to thank
you
Jen
so much.
And thank everybody who watched this. I know this one was kind of long, but it was a conversation we needed to have, though.
And we've been talking about it, and this stuff we talk about like all the time. But for real though, baby, if you consider yourself better, it's fine with me. I just wanted to definitely bring up an opposing view, especially in light of Rachel, and because I know originally I had a strong position at one point in time, and that definitely has changed from watching the documentary, maturity as well, and the understanding grace in what that means for me, and having experience with grace, and having that experience, I have to extend grace for her. And if she wants to be Black, baby girl, do you. Knock yourself out, and don't let anybody take that from you, because if that makes you happy, that gives you joy, that's what you're called, or to your core, that's what you identify with and embrace. Who am I to say something?
Not only that, but she also is doing the work.
Right.
And we can't stop somebody from doing the work, because somebody got to do it, because we ain't got no civil rights leaders.
Right, because everybody is not.
Everybody's not a civil rights leader, and I want people to understand that I just want to be clear. I do consider myself African American. Well, not African American. Let me fix it. Afro Latina. And a lot of that and I take that on because I've done the research on where I originated from, where my ancestors come from, and what happened on that island. Right. There is no way on God's green earth that I can say I do not have African American blood that runs through my body, when I know
Queen of Spain is white.
The Queen of Spain does say, told the Dominicans that y'all will be white. So but that goes to show that's another level of
Whole nother
racism
level,
and
right.
colorism in that country
Right.
that is
There's a
crazy.
divide between-
There's a divide. You know, the lighter hue are more preferred than the darker hue, and it's sad.
Right.
You know, it's really saddening. But for me, listen, I'm a black woman. And I have my own struggles because I always go back, well, I'm not Spanish enough for the Spanish people, and I am black enough for the blacks. So it's like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad that we had this conversation. And again, it's a conversation that we need to continue to have so that we can gain understanding with everyone. And we can be okay with one another and learn our differences. So that's all we got.
Yeah, that's it for us. Thank you for joining.
Make sure that y'all, if you're in South Carolina,
Yes.
come out tomorrow for services at the
Everybody
gathering.
is welcome. Ebony, feel free to come out. Bring your family. You want to come. Elijah, I know you're not here close anymore, but tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the gathering. Cosby. The word for tomorrow is going to be called Keep Your Change. Boom! I'm so excited about it. I really am. I'm excited about this sermon. I'm excited about what God's going to do. So you're invited to join us tomorrow at the gathering, 11 o'clock, 1919 Hampton Street, Columbia, South Carolina. And if you cannot physically be there and you want to worship or just want an extra experience with God, feel free to tune in on our Facebook Live because that's also available.
Yes.
But if you can get there, you're in the vicinity, there's a different experience that happens when we're in physical
room.
space, okay, together.
So make sure that you come out tomorrow so you can get your word. Because you know the minister be, you know, she be doing some things now. She be hopping around and telling folks get up and do all kinds of things. That Easter word was a word, honey. So make sure that you guys come out, and don't forget to also check out the minister on Chaplain's Corner at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. Facebook Live. If you are in the Columbia area, Wednesday night Bible study from 6:30 to 7:30, 1919 Hampton Street. So
and also make sure you check out Majesty. She has her
my
own
royal
messages that come to you, honey. When they come, catch it because she's the sexy femme with the slip mouth. Y'all keep praying for me. She's doing better. Somebody has been going to God on our behalf.
I've gotten better. My cuss words have been down to a minimum.
Yes.
I've gotten better.
Oh, she said we need our own show. This is our show right here. So this is our platform. Again, thank y'all so much for joining us. God bless you. We enjoyed it. Please share the video.
Yes.
If you missed some parts, I promise you, go back and look at the video
Because it was funny.
Yeah. All right. That's it. So we going out on Yay. Hey. 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 Jesus walked with them. Hey.
Jesus need to be walking with Kanye.
Jesus walks with them. Hey. That's the I like.
We need to talk to Jesus. We need to have. That's it. Bye.
He ain't hit our